Hey guys, Spiritual Wanderess here. Coming to you at the end of my day to just kind of decompress and be real, vulnerable, and honest with you guys, right? You know, I would say today has probably been a little bit of a harder day for me. Not particularly for any reason besides, I mean, there's numerous reasons, right? But it's not like just one. It's just, I look back on the last 4 years, even more than that. But since I've been in this battle against a spiritual community, secret society targeting me, whatever their deal is, they want to initiate me or they want to sacrifice me. Like, the story, who knows? All I know, guys, is that this is something that I've genuinely dealt with, and that to know that it started just by me confiding in my best friend, well, my childhood bestie, my goals and my, what I want to do, which is what I'm doing here now. But when I told her that, it's like her and my ex and my family all teamed together to do everything possible. So I never got to this point. And now that I'm here, and I've talked about this, guys. The guys that are new to my channel, that have been with me for a little bit, look back at my videos, taking my power back, empowerment, all of that. But there's also, I'm paying a lot of repercussions for doing that. And I've mentioned that, there will be repercussions when you stand in your power, and there's so many people that don't want to see you in it. But it's like everywhere I turn, I have to deal with this. It's one thing to accept that your family really wants to see you absolutely with nothing. With nothing. To be on the streets and just struggle as hard as you possibly can. Being put in these unjust, unfair situations. Knowing about the gang stalking and stuff happening to you because they're part of the organization doing it. But just hating you so much. They want to control your life at every turn and all costs. Which is what I deal with my tyrant father. An enmeshment of sociopath and codependent that has gone on way longer than it should have. It's been something that, it's not easy. It's not like, when a woman enters an abusive relationship, she knows, okay, when the person starts to become abusive, she's saying that she recognizes that this isn't normal. It's not typical. A healthy woman that grew up with a healthy understanding about relationships, and a man had a father figure in life, all of that, she'll be able to piece together that this is abuse, and then I'm out of here. It's not, these are the red flags, and I'm gone, right? We never talk about the children of those type of men, that their entire life they've been groomed and programmed a certain way. And they don't know any different, because that's all, from the moment they were born into this world, they have been programmed by that person over them. It's just different when my mom, let me back up a little bit. My mom tried for a very long time to get out of the grasp of my father. Growing up, I had a very abusive childhood. I really don't remember the first, I want to say 10 years of my life. It's pretty kind of just sporadic, my memory. But for the most part, it's blacked out to me because it was so traumatic. And my mom, obviously my father was the abuser, and my mom tried to escape him to the point of, like, we would have to, when he was at work, all of a sudden just get all of her stuff, move out of the place, out of the city before he came off of work and he could track my mom down. We would have to run and disappear. I grew up in shelters, in domestic violence shelters, where my mom would have to go there with me to escape him. According to her, when they were in the custody battle of me, when they were getting their divorce, which I was about a year old during this process, and my mom, I guess, had met people that had pull for underground domestic violence survivors to be given a new identity, a new name, a new social, all of that. My mother, now my father doesn't know this, but my mother had it set up so that court hearing day, if my father was to have won custody over me, she had it set up for us to disappear and run. Never to be found again. New names, new identity, everything. That is how abusive and dysfunctional and traumatic the dynamic between them was. And I feel there was a part of my mom that this dynamic between her and my dad, he didn't win custody. She got majority and he got a little bit, and I'd have to have visitations, monitored visitations by social workers with him. And I think my mom was so desperate to just escape him. They were connected on and off for another 10 years of my life, right? It's like she got to a point where she was so burnt out and trying to escape my father. I feel like she kind of sacrificed me in the process, and I became that person to my dad. I became the person that he had to take all of his anger and frustration out on to be able to feel okay about himself. And my mom, even though she had this great fight in her at the beginning, it's like that she didn't last very long in that regard, and she just gave up. And was okay with me taking her spot with him. So I feel like, my mom pretty much sacrificed me. In that way. I mean, she's done it enough, like, you guys have heard my story on the Eastern Star thing, like, later on in my life. Looking back at it, there was another form of sacrifice that happened. And I've done a lot of therapy work, getting clean. I've gone over this and over. This is not like where I'm stuck in my consciousness and what I'm crying about and poor me. It's kind of to give you a reference of what I've been up against, right? And just to be vulnerable and real. And like, this is part of my journey. I've done a lot of the healing work on it. I still will never comprehend the whole thing to a degree. Like, as far as, my mom just basically just allowing, she got her freedom. I didn't get my freedom, is what I'm trying to say. So I've never had my freedom. from him. I've always had this tyrant looming over me, trying to make my life an absolute hell. And every time I have tried to escape him, I can't. There's something blocking my escape, and a setup that he has planned. Like, my dad is a master manipulator. Intelligence on a sociopathic, psychopathic level, and he knows how to manipulate that. It's a game to him. I have never escaped that game. And I know a lot of people will sit here and they'll look at me and they'll be like, well, this is all your fault. But you guys know about programming, right? You've had to deprogram your own mind from like the school system, stuff like that. This was programming from when I was in my mother's stomach, forming there. This goes beyond the programming that everyday humans. It's not easy to recognize it, walk away, and stop it. Especially when you literally are up against a guy that is so sociopathically capable of never allowing a person to escape him. I've been trying. I've literally... I almost feel like this is a past life thing that's between him and I almost, you know? This is my honest to God, true, what I feel like on a soul level. For those of you that believe in past lives and all of that. And I'm not proud of what I'm about to admit here, but it is part of my history. It's part of many people's history in America. It's an unfortunate part, slavery, of our American history, but it's there. It doesn't mean that people, like, I'll back up a little bit. My family they had plantations, owned slaves, the Williams part of it, right? They're Southern from the South. They fought for the Confederate Army. Everything that I'm very against, they weren't, right? They very much benefited off of slavery. And it doesn't mean that I have to suffer the consequences of that family line. I already have. It doesn't make me a bad person. It has nothing to do with me. It's just part of my history. But having said that, I genuinely, truly believe that it's like in that family, if there's such a thing as like past lives and we keep on reincarnating with the same person same soul, different person, different role, right? But still the karmic lessons needing to learn there. I genuinely feel like I was a slave in a past life. I was of color and a slave in a past life. And my dad was the master. And to this day, in a different life, different roles we're playing, I am still trying to escape that man. But make no mistake, it has been like I'm owned. I'm his property. No child or no human being should ever, one, have to go through domestic violence. Two, their mother shouldn't be okay with having their child trade them and take their place. So they got freedom, but your child never did. And three, people need to be a little bit more compassionate with that. This is such a deep programming of people that come from very narcissistic, sociopathic, enmeshed dynamics in the family. Like, it's easy for a person just looking in who has an experience to say, well, then just walk away. but it's not psychologically the enmeshment that has happened over time. It is not that easy. And oftentimes, these people are so good at their manipulation and keeping a person connected to them somehow. They'll use any and all resources, including inheritances and finances. It's all a manipulation tactic. It's not really because they care about the family member and they want the family member to be taken care of when they pass. It has nothing to do with that. They really could care less about that. In fact, they really hope that the family member does even more of a nosedive when they're gone. Because in their head, the only reason that family member still exists is because of them. It gives them purpose. And without that purpose, they are absolutely terrified of the nothingness that their life would be. And so they go to desperate measures to try to really rein in and hurt their child. So that's one aspect of my life that I'm dealing with. But I also, standing in my power, I have to fight against my own dad. Let alone, but I still have people in a stupid secret society, spiritual community, that every time I try to step out, it's like I get bullied, I get I'm outcasted, I'm shunned. Because somebody didn't want me to be seen in a community. And that would even include my mom and my sister, which I've had no contact with since this began 4 years ago. But it's just like unbelievable and this is it's unbelievable what some of us go through, guys. It really is. All that we have to take on our plate. And this will go back to the whole thing of like the chosen journey. How many people will betray you and try to stifle you and quiet you and get rid of you and dim you and just beat you while you're already down is unfathomable. You have to be a certain level of absolute, just pure resiliency and strength to survive the powers and principalities that come through these people to really get to you. Like, do they not grasp that you already have enough on your plate, that you're trying to do something to create your own life, your own independence, your own well-being, your own purpose? But every time you do that, all hell comes at you. All hell breaks loose and comes at you. Whether it's the social media part of it, if it's the spiritual part of it, the spiritual warfare, the witchcraft, moon magic, all of that, or if it's your actual personal relationship dynamics, right? You don't get a break. All of it will come at you all at once. And so today I'm just feeling a little emotional, like I have already enough on my plate of what I got to deal with. Let's just put personal life aside. What about our everyday adult responsibilities life? I have bills, I got to work, all of that stuff. But I'm supposed to take on that and take on everything else that I'm taking on. So many blocks in my way. I understand why people turn to substance or they give up. I think there's something, it has to be some type of God movement in my life for me to keep on still moving on. Because me as a person, I want to give up. I do feel that way. I feel like just let them have my purpose. I just won't be seen. I'll just whatever, But there's something divine some other force that carries me along, that I wake up each day. I make the decision to walk away, but the next day I'll wake up and I'm back at it again. It is part of me at this point. Like, if it even causes my death, I'll be pursuing this until the day I die. It's that inherently part of me. And no matter how many people team together to try to stop me, I will keep doing this, because it's just, apparently I love the torture, and who knows? And guys, I'm coming here and I am crying and I'm being very vulnerable and all of that, because crying is okay. Crying is healing. Being vulnerable is not only healing you, but it's healing other people. People that are familiar, have similarities in their story, right? That need your truth to help them. And vice versa, guys. When I hear truth and I hear vulnerability and I hear somebody talk about their struggles and I relate and I resonate with it, like, it gives me strength to pursue my healing and my journey. And I'm just so over these secret society spiritual influencers that preach nothing but love and light, yet behind the scenes are part of a dark secret society and that bully and target others. They're not all love and light. But they have a nerve to come here and criticize people like me that are real, authentic, and raw, and being very vulnerable with their story. They don't have half the guts or the courage to do this, to stand before a camera and be this raw and vulnerable, crying, all of that. Because it's real. This isn't some, I want your followers, I want likes. This is real, guys. Healing is ugly. It's raw and it's real. And this, everything's all love and light, that's putting a band-aid. And that's fake. And I'm going to call out a lot of these people as fake, because if they were real, they wouldn't have to belong to a secret society to team up and bully and ostracize and really come for a person that's just trying to share their story to heal and help heal others. My God. For the secret society, my fans in denial out there watching this right here, that are getting like this smirk on their face that they gotta that I'm upset about, you know, those evil mother effers, yes, you guys are phonies. You're phonies. And the ironic part is the Decepticon phrase that's so popular. He is the biggest Decepticon of all. Part of a secret society that targets and hurts really innocent people here that didn't deserve it. And they're just trying to do their part. And I don't know how many other influencers are that deep into it as this particular person that really, really targeted me. But however deep this rabbit hole goes with this secret society, they absolutely have no human conscience in my eyes. They're unable to take any accountability or responsibility. And they would rather keep on kicking a person while they're down. Even though they see that person's fighting so hard to stand on their own and use their voice to stand in their power. But my God, I have a whole community trying to silence me. I got enough in my own personal life, guys, with dealing with my tyrant father. I'm dealing with court issues and stuff that's not fun. I'm trying to escape this tyrant of my life, but every time I try to escape and I think I'm okay, that I can finally breathe, it's like that power and principality of a tyrant, whatever that is, comes through another source, and I just cannot win. And so, I'm sure tomorrow I'll get on here and I'll be happy, I'll be smiling. It'll be a new day, right? Today is just one of those days where I literally have to just kind of get through today. Just survive today. And sometimes that's all any of us can do, is just get through this one day. Tomorrow you wake up and the sun is shining, and you put on your bootstraps, you put on your boots, you strap them up, and you soldier on. But right here, right now, this is real. I'm just feeling worn out because from every angle I look at, I have people trying to silence me and shut me up and keep me powerless and put me in situations where I have nothing. And so, allowing yourself to feel and be real, it's part of the healing journey. You gotta feel. You gotta feel. You cannot stuff this inside. I've done it. That's why I use drugs to numb myself, or I had emotions that would just burst out, right? Because I had no idea how to, number one, even identify my emotions for a very long time, let alone how do I even feel them. That wasn't for me, survival as a child, you didn't have emotions. It's a very common thing for complex PTSD people that have had very abusive backgrounds in childhoods. But now, I honor my feelings. Because I know that the only way to get rid of that feeling is to feel it. To process it, to feel it. And what I'm doing with you guys is just giving you a real life look at the healing journey. And that healing is not linear. It has no time frame. You think you'll be okay. You're okay. You thought you healed. You're good. And then just one day, it's just like a trigger happens and you're feeling it again. And you're like, why am I back here? Stop it. Why am I back here? It's known. Feel it. It's okay. You're still purging that emotion within you. When you deny it, what we deny persists, right? You have to feel it to release it and let it go. And the healing journey, guys, in general, we got to get comfortable with being vulnerable and like tears. Especially you men out there. And as a woman, I'm grateful in that way that I have it easier than men. Although growing up, I had a tyrant father who wanted a boy and got one daughter, only one child, daughter. Trust me when I say I had to man up a lot with him. I shouldn't have had to. I should have embraced my feminine aspects, but whatever. I had to man up. So I get men that are told that you're weak and you're pathetic, you're too sensitive, all that, if you cry. I get it. I had to deal with it. I'm a woman, and I still had to deal with it. And I can tell you, as somebody who has been on this journey for a while now, and that's a journey that never ends. There's always more healing, more growth, all of that to happen. The moment you start becoming comfortable with when that emotion rises, just to let it out and let it go and flow with it, this is the moment you will recognize you can get through this healing journey, and that's not as intimidating as a lot of people look at it, because they don't know how to handle those emotions just yet. You learn to honor it. Like there's a spiritual badge we get, right? We learn to honor our emotions. and our experience, guys. We're human. To be open with our human journey and to not judge it. I'm so tired of people trying to just the superficial life and look, and for me, like, I've been just dying for real. I don't know about you guys, but I guess that's why I'm so real and raw and vulnerable, and in every interaction I have, this is what you'll get from me. And I actually make people uncomfortable, because I don't think people really know how to have a conversation with somebody so authentic and instead of business-like, right? Like, most people just approach the world in very business-like, wearing a mask, all of that. I'm the complete opposite. And I think I throw a lot of people off. But I also recognize that I'm meant to be different, to influence people to be different. I'm not meant to be part of that system. And so me coming here doing this, I guess I am hoping to help you guys see that even through our crying and our struggles and the not so pretty parts, being real and vulnerable with that has beauty as well. And to honor that. To honor our human experience and to be there for one another. To give them a safe space to come and talk about things. To feel. So many people don't feel safe to feel their emotions, especially around other people, because what they say and do can be used against them. Most people operate in that way, guys. So, this is me, Spiritual Wondress, kind of just having a tougher day today, but I will get through it. Tomorrow's a new day. And I just wanted to kind of have you guys join me on my personal healing experience, right? And so you kind of get an idea of how to honor your own healing experience, whatever that may be. And to remember that some days, one day at a time, just living that way, that's okay to do that. And that it's always darkest before the dawn. That out of your pain and feelings, there really is such a thing as collateral beauty. I don't know, I look at the whole vulnerability, healing, and feeling thing as much different than I used to. It's the spiritual journey. I honor it. I understand that being able to feel and being in touch with your emotions is something that many people are not nowadays. And so if you are, kudos to you. And let's keep on showing the world how it's done and how to do it. And that this whole wearing a mask and spiritual bypassing and everything's perfect thing, while we want to have our intentions be positive and try to manifest love and light, you can't bypass the dark, guys. You can't put a time frame on the dark. You can't put a time frame on healing. Healing is raw, messy, it's real, but you know what? It's beautiful at the same time. So don't ever forget that. When you have emotions, you have feelings, honor those. And don't be afraid to be real and vulnerable with that, because you never know when you're going to be saving somebody's life in return. Not just saving your own, but somebody else's. Which is that's why I'm here. I hope that's why other people are here, right? To help one another. So, all right, guys. That's just my little piece for tonight. I'll talk to you later.